land of my fathers, and here we go. It's the dressing gown diary. It is the final weekend, excluding the Scotland-France game. It's all about the Grand Slam.
Wales!
Whoa. It's all about the Grand Slam. Let's go through the games that don't matter though this weekend. You've got Scotland, who are going to conclude their main part of their tournament against Italy. Italy scrabbling around. Scotland have named an experimental side, Hog at 10, but no one really cares, do they? Let's be honest. Scotland have won at Twickenham. That'll be a good season. Who cares what happens in this game? The second game of the weekend sees England travel to Dublin. Many thought this might be a final match-up, but sadly both teams have lost too many matches. England and Ireland both coming unstuck against the mighty Dragon. England one change, in comes Slade dropped out, and in comes Daly into the 13 channel. If England play the expansive game that they did against Wales and against France, surely they will have too much for Ireland. Ireland struggled against Scottish team that, considering Scotland only won 25% of their line-outs, kept giving the ball away. It's a travesty actually that Ireland weren't further ahead, and it kind of says a lot about where that team is for me. They flatter to deceive and look good at times, but not really. The Wales game was a good example. Lots of huff and a puff in the 22, but not able to get over the game line. So. And then the big one, 8 p.m. Here's some nice stats for you. So, Alwyn Jones can become the first player ever to win 4 Grand Slams in the Six Nations. That would bring him level with the combined total of England and Ireland. They've only won 2 each. Alwyn Jones can win 4. What a performance that would be. Wales, going into the Six Nations, when they've had the opportunity to execute a Grand Slam, they have done it. This would be the first time they do it away from home, and any win in Paris is really hard fought. It's certainly going to be a tight game. France, will they show up? They know they've got to win both matches big. So the pressure is really on France to throw the ball around and try and be expansive. I suppose for the neutral, the best thing you could see is France scoring early and then both teams having a crack. But Wales have just been very clinical. They've scored 17 tries in this tournament. That's their tournament record, or equaling record. So they've won more and it will be their record. Again, as well, they've secured 3 bonus point wins. Never done before. So if Wales win this match, I think they'll finish with it's a record for a Grand Slam victory, because you get 2 points for the Grand Slam as well. Could be an unbelievable performance if Wales do it. There have been some great performances through the season. Alwyn Jones, an absolute colossal. Faletau has been epic. George North moving to outside centre, very good move. Reece Lightning, unbelievable. So Wales will be going into this brimming of confidence. They were so clinical against Italy at the weekend, wrapping up the bonus point win within 30 minutes. It really was an example of how to put a team to bed early doors. Yes, they started throwing the ball around and trying to score silly tries after that point, but it didn't really matter. They came to secure a bonus point and wrapped it up within 30 minutes. The Josh Adams, a question mark over whether he grounded the ball, but England fans will say, well, Itoje did, so it's the same question that whether Josh Adams did. You're doing well to hold the ball underneath your arms like that and not get it down. But still, there's always going to be referee controversy, potential for a red card as well with an arm. But I thought Wayne Barnes actually did quite well, talks it through, explains what's going on. So look, the Six Nations has been far better viewing than the Nations Cup or the Autumn Series, which was just dire rugby. All teams have actually tried to throw the ball around a little bit. Wales have been very clinical and taken their chances. England have brought their power game in the last 2 or 3. France as well looked lively at all points. Ireland scrabbling around. Scotland looked good in parts, but yet they're on the wrong side of the score. It's kind of the same old Scotland. We've seen this from them for the last 4 or 5 seasons. They get 1 or 2 wins at most and flatter to deceive. And Italy just look appalling at the moment. They're conceding too many points. Ewani looks good, but that's not really enough
to justify Six Nations. Because if you look at the games that have taken place so far and you take Italy out, every single match apart from England's thumping in Cardiff has been by one score. And half the time you actually don't know which way it's going to go. The 2 games last weekend were good examples. England hosting France, it was a 3-point game in the end. Same happened in Murrayfield. Could have gone either way, even to the last few minutes. So it's very, very interesting watching for those that have time. So look, Freddie's flutter. Unfortunately, I fell last week. An unfortunate situation. I did think Scotland would come up trumps, but maybe Scotland and France, who had those extra weeks off and lost a month, both lost. Maybe that has a big impact. But this week, I actually fancy I'm backing England. They you can get, it's about 4 points. Ireland 3.5, 4.5 points. But I just think England are going to have too much power. They're going to bring it. They really want to impress. You know, they're bit between the teeth last weekend against France. So Freddie's flutter for what could be the final weekend, or really is Super Saturday, is back England on the handicap against Ireland. You'll be giving 4.5 points, but it's well worth a go. Anyway, look. This is Lloyd, over and out, Dressing Gown Diary. Enjoy your 6 halves of rugby on Super Saturday.